Okay, in another sportsman video I talked about always check your airbox gasket. I didn't like how the factory one sat in there. It left like a really weird seal and it was letting mud and water in. And I'm not one to not go through mud and water, so I definitely want a good seal on my airbox. So I found this company, Outsiders Motor Company, and they make aftermarket gaskets that are way nicer than the factory gasket. They do them for air boxes and for clutch boxes and all sorts of things on our types of machines and tons of other machines. So check them out online. I'll put a link in the description down below. But we are going to take the factory one out and put this one in. It's got nice double-sided tape on there and cut to the size that I need. Remove the seat. The bag's in the way here. A little hard. Take the seat off. Take this little guy off here. Then just pop this down and that pops out. And I have an aftermarket air filter, the GSE exhaust and the air filter here, so that sits in there and this presses it in. So right now it's all right. There's a leaf, but you can see right here, see how the gasket's not sitting in there really well, and part of that is too this little notch right here. So you got to file this notch down flat, and then so we're going to file that off flat, take this off and stick the new gasket on. Alright, clean it out pretty good. Use some Goo Gone and clean the Goo Gone off with rubbing alcohol. So we will put the new gasket on. Simple as lining it up. Making sure it's in there nice and flat. This isn't rocket science, but it is a nice tight fit. Make sure it's in the channel all the way around. The whole point of this is to keep stuff out, so you want it in there. When you're pushing it, you can kind of feel it pop down in there. And just make sure as you go around. The corners, I'm having to pull a little bit and push into the corner. And again, definitely this bottom edge. Making sure that's, and when I'm pinching back and kind of pushing it in there, both sides, and you can feel it kind of set down in there. Ever so slightly. Work it in, work it all the way around. You can kind of see how like this area is wobbling up like that. That means that side's not down. So I'm going to pinch it over, push it down in. So it gets a nice even space. You can see there's a little wobble right there. Get this down in here. Same thing with this side. It's looking good. Do a little test fit here without the filter in there just to see. And this one's bigger, so when you put this in here, you kind of have to push this back a little bit to get a good seal on there. And it's definitely a tighter seal. And you really just have to make sure it gets down below this lip because it's so much thicker. I mean, it definitely doesn't go on as easy, I'll say that, but it's definitely a tighter seal, so that is a good thing. And there she goes. Tight seal. Throw your seat back on. Good to go. Rigid cube lights and the Haze Fab lights. Did the install video and before and after with the Haze Fab. You can check that out. Didn't do an install of them just because they're pretty easy. I mean, I did put a switch in the switch part here. So it's handy. So yeah, new gasket. We'll keep an eye on it. Seems to fit a lot better. Seems to fit a lot more secure. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Ride the earth.